My name's Daniel. I was already teetering on the brink, contemplating walking away from my marriage long before the final collapse. For years, I'd been trapped in a relationship that felt more like a gradual erosion than a partnership. The moment I knew I had to leave came during a family gathering where I was openly mocked. That evening, after the guests had gone and the house fell silent, I vanished. My wife, Sarah, and I had been married for just over 8 years. In the early days, we were like any other couple, deeply intertwined. We had dreams. It wasn't just about owning a house. We wanted a true home, a shared future. That was the vision we committed to. For a time, we pursued it together. But around year 5, something shifted. It wasn't a sudden break, which made it harder to pinpoint. The real change began when we started trying for children. We both wanted a family desperately. But as months stretched into years with no success, we turned to fertility specialists. Endless appointments, medications, tests, and rigid schedules followed. We did everything they advised. Each month brought fresh hope, only to end in quiet despair that hung over us like a fog. I saw how it affected Sarah. She grew distant, more reserved. At first, I chalked it up to the strain we were both under. We were both in pain. But at some point, she stopped trying, not just with the treatments, but with our relationship. She let go of the dream entirely when it became too heavy to carry. And in letting go of that, it felt like she let go of us too. The warmth we once shared faded, replaced by a cold, formal distance. We still shared a home, slept in the same bed, ate at the same table. But it was like living with a stranger. The silence between us grew heavier with each passing day. What stung most was that she didn't seem to care. She had emotionally withdrawn. I convinced myself that love meant holding on, even when the other person had already let go. About a year and a half before our marriage completely unraveled, Sarah's sister arrived at our doorstep. She'd just gone through a brutal divorce, think screaming matches, accusations of infidelity, and police visits. It was chaotic, and she needed a refuge. Sarah asked if her sister could stay with us for a short time, just until she got back on her feet. I agreed without hesitation. It felt like the right thing to do. She had 2 young kids caught in the mess. So they moved in with a few bags, seemingly for a brief stay, but days turned into weeks. I assumed she'd need a little extra time to plan her next steps. But then weeks became a month. Her belongings took over the guest room. The kids' toys spread across the living room, kitchen, and even our bedroom. Their clothes mixed with ours in the laundry. Still, I held my tongue. But a month became 2, then 3, and she was still there. It felt like an entirely different family had moved into my home, and no one seemed to see an issue except me. Sarah's sister was brash and sharp-tongued, always ready with a biting comment. Her kids were a whirlwind of disorder. No boundaries, no respect for space, no sense of calm. It was like living in a chaotic preschool run by someone with no control. Every day was tense. I'd come home drained from work, craving a moment of peace, only to face another mess. Arguments became routine. Conversations were replaced by conflict. What hurt most was that Sarah always defended her sister. No matter how disruptive her sister was, Sarah had an excuse. I'd raise concerns calmly, and she'd dismiss me.
I can't tell you the full story in this short video. If you want to see the full story, the link is given below. Click on it to watch the full story.